Here's a sticky pick about building buy-in. When it comes to motivation, people are a little like calculators. They roam around considering what they're going to have to put into something, that's the investment, and what they're going to get out of it, that's the return. What they're looking for in these situations is an imbalance in their favor. They want a situation where what they have to put in is going to be less than what they get out. And if the sort of work or the money or the time or the investment is less than what they're going to get out, that's what they call a good deal. Naturally, they'll move in the direction of realizing it, whether it's a plan or a purchase or anything else. Leaders know this, and so they try to create that exact same imbalance. Only instead of using terms like investment and return, they talk about things like the work and the worth. They try to create the same imbalance, but they do so by talking about how little is required. They lower the investment and say it won't take much work, you won't have to stay late, it won't cost too much, it's not going to be that much time, and they hope that by in doing so they can create that same imbalance that will lead people to move in the direction that they desire. It's a good plan, especially if what you're looking for is compliance. In other words, you're looking to harness people's hands and feet in the service of what you're pitching. But if what you're looking for is more than that, if what you really want is people's commitment, in other words, not simply their hands and feet, but you want their hearts, and you're trying to cultivate buy-in and build believers in what you're doing, well, you need to spend your time on the other side of the equation and talk more about the worth than the work. In other words, you want to pump up the purpose behind things. You want to make sure you inspire people with a compelling reason to be doing what you're asking, so that eventually you created that same sense of equality that will lead to motion in the desired direction. But in doing so, you've elevated the overall sense of worth. When you do this sort of thing, people believe in what you're accomplishing so much that over time they may add more of their time, their talents, and their energy in the service of it of their own accord. On the other hand, if you've created this imbalance simply by convincing them that it won't cost very much, you may find that the level of worth that they understand is uninspiring, and over time it's difficult for them to even give what you've asked. In general, when you want to create buy-in instead of mere compliance, you want to spend more time drawing people's attention to what they're accomplishing than what you've asked them to do. Or, if I put this in an adage that's a little easier to remember, when you ask people to do things that are hard or require a lot of them, don't tell them why it won't cost too much. Instead, tell them why it's worth everything they have.